The opinions and views expressed in the following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and your sports network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow the road. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
Hello, everybody. Welcome inside a brand new Thursday episode of Running Point on ysnlive.com. As always, brought to you by our good friends at the top right corner of the screen, Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. They go the extra mile for you, so you don't have to. We want to thank them for their support every day, and they've been here since the start of Running Point and been the presenting sponsor of Running Point since the get-go. And all the twists and turns it has, they've never lost their faith in what we can do. So we thank them for their constant support and sponsorship of the show. If you are in the market for a new or used vehicle, make sure to head on down to Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. They'll take care of you better than anybody else will. So let's have a good show today. We're going to have the recap of last night like we always do. We're going to recap the action. I'm going to give you my thoughts. Wednesday is the night that I'm not anywhere, but I watched a lot of the games last night, so we'll have some fun with that. And then we will also feature an interview, a player profile, like we try to do every day, with McKenna Venzel, the libero senior captain for Edgewood Volleyball. So I'm going to feature a player profile, going to get another athlete in the limelight, head on down to the 440 for a minute. I know Sam doesn't mind when we hop down there. And we'll play that interview for you a little bit later on in the show, about towards the halfway point. We will go into the scoreboard first, though. Pop it up on the screen for you and check out the action that happened last night. This scoreboard is brought to you by Burnett Pools, Spas, and Hot Tubs. This is a great tool for YSN fans, whether you're at a game and you just want to have a quick glance at your phone, or maybe you're watching one of our broadcasts and you don't want to leave the screen for too long. No matter what the situation is, the YSN scoreboard is a great tool for you to have. ysnlive.com/scores, and it is presented by Burnett Pools and Spas and Hot Tubs, which is why we can bring it to you with their generosity. So let's dive into the scoreboard from last night, Wednesday, September 20th. 2023. We'll start with Wyndham. They sweep Waterloo 3-0, a big win for the Bombers. That was my on-the-fly bomber sound effect. Don't make fun of me. Heartland Christian got the 5-set win over Badger. A tough week for the Braves continues as they cannot escape the Purple Palace with a win. Lions get the 5-set victory over the Braves. They might dip a little bit in the power rankings when we do it over the weekend. Louisville, 2 wins in a row for them. They sweep Matthews, put up some impressive numbers yet again for the Rockets. We'll do the first three columns like we always do. We'll scroll over to the last one a little bit later. South Range, they get the sweep over Cardinal Mooney. Anna Toy had a big day, a double-double for her. Not the first of the season for sure. She's putting a great campaign together in her freshman season. She was player of the game. An interview with her can be found at ysnlive.com on the game story. East gets the win over Niles, 3-0, the final score there. How about Jefferson going into Lakeview and upsetting the Bulldogs 3-1? Old NE8 rivals finding some revenge against a team that definitely has the upper hand in their season series. But remember yesterday, I told you the only teams to beat Lakeview in NE8 play since the conception of the NE8 have been Jefferson and Girard. So Jefferson with another win against Lakeview, this time not conference play, so the Bulldogs are still sitting golden in their conference, undefeated in the 88. But Jefferson sneaks in a win. They go to Cortland, get it done. Chloe O'Rourke had a big game. You can find an interview with her and head coach Don Palm at ysnlive.com on the story for that one. Girls soccer, let's head over to that realm real quick. 4-2, Pymatuning Valley gets the win over Bristol, a big win for the Lakers. Waterloo, offense too much for Newton Falls, 7-3, the final score there. A big save late, lets Springfield hold on, 2-1. They beat Crestview, a big win for the Tigers inside the MVAC. How about Canfield? Their defense had to step up big this night because Fitch's defense came to play, held the Cardinals to just 2 goals. By their 2 D1 commits, by the way, Hannah Wahib and Macy Traporser. No shocker there that those two were the ones that scored 2 goals, but Canfield's defense, something else. Fitch had 0 shots on goal all night because of the back line of the Cardinals was just way too good for Fitch to get through. So their goalkeeper had a pretty calm night. Didn't have to do too much. Didn't have to save anything. No shots on goal. Canfield outshoots Fitch 22-0. But I do want to shout out Coral, the goalie for Austintown Fitch. 8 saves in this game. She played really well. Kept the Falcons in it. Unfortunately for the Falcons, though, their offense just couldn't quite get enough to stay with the high-powered Canfield offense. Hoban gets the win on the girls' side over Cardinal Mooney, 6-1. The final score there. Garfield falls to champion. Oh my gosh, we thought 11-0 was a big number from Monday night. No, champion one upset 13-0. They beat Garrettsville. Garfield. We'll go to the bottom, and once again we'll scroll over at the end. Hubbard beats South Range 4-3. The Raiders are starting to put a couple of things together. They're definitely more competitive this time around against Hubbard than the first time. Girard and Niles squared off. Niles, a very good soccer team on the girls' side. They get the win 4-0, the final score there. And then Lakeview, they get the win over Struthers 6-0. That's another really good team, by the way. Remember in the summer when we did our interviews with Soccer Vision Academy, the 15U girls club team that went all the way to nationals in Colorado and won nationals in Colorado. We talked to a couple of Lakeview players on that team, and that team is consisted completely of Ysn family talent. And I don't think it's any coincidence that the teams that are represented on that team are all succeeding pretty well. Lakeview is one of those teams that is pretty well represented. So is Niles. They're both winners last night in shutout fashion. Boys soccer, not too many games, but we still had a couple. We have the Crestview Rebels going to Middle Ridge, getting the 5-1 victory over the Rams. We have Champion getting the win 3-1 over Garrettsville Garfield on the boys' side. And then LeBray and Jackson Milton squared off the Blue Jays. Impressive 7-1 win over the Vikings. We did have field hockey on the network last night as well. Hudson gets a 9-0 win over Orange in field hockey. So now let's scroll over, see if we can figure this out. Let's scroll all the way over. We have to get this bar down, this bar down, and this bar over. Okay. Once again, if you are watching this for the first time and are freaked out by that is my computer's formatting for some reason. This is not how it will look on your computer. You won't have to deal with the three different, scroll bars down there. I've tried it out on our office computer. I've tried it out on other computers. It works fine. For some reason, my computer, maybe it's because I have the settings for a little bit of a bigger text size so my vision can see it. I don't know, but it's crazy with the 3 bars down there that you have to navigate to get to this final row. That's why we save it for last. Best for last, right? Canfield gets the sweep over Ursuline. Big win for the Cardinals. They needed it. And this is a pretty decent Ursuline team, a 9-win Ursuline team. So a big win for Canfield. They get it in straight sets to bounce back from their tough loss over Boardman. And then Newton Falls gets revenge on LeBray. LeBray having a tough week. They've lost twice to teams they beat the first time around in MVAC play. So Newton Falls and Garfield, who lost to LeBray the first time around, both get wins over the Vikings this time around. Newton Falls, Danny Drake, congratulations to her. What beautiful timing, right? We featured her interview yesterday on Running Point. And then that night, last night, she goes and gets 1,000 career assists in the win over LeBray. So perfect timing, Danny Drake. Congratulations on your milestone there. What a great setter. We talked all about her yesterday. A fantastic setter, really athletic, moves the court really well, sees the court extremely well, which is what all great setters have to do. You know, people talk about the fundamentals of setting, you know, the handwork and the footwork, and that's all great. But if you have all that, but you don't have good court vision and good volleyball IQ, then you're just not going to go places. And Danny Drake really sees the floor well. She knows how to read the defense, know what plays to get into her team into when they're in system, granted, which they get in system quite a bit. They have a good defense in the back row. So they're in system quite a bit. She is just a very good volleyball IQ setter. Volleyball IQ is so important, and she exemplifies it well. Not the tallest setter you'll ever see in the world, but let's face it, the high school volleyball world right now, especially in our area, doesn't have too many really tall setters. You know, you'll watch Division I college, and most setters are, you know, in the 6-foot category because you need a tall setter to run an offense that's fast enough to compete in college volleyball. But in high school, you can get away with, you know, 5'7", 5'8", 5'9", somewhere around there, which a lot of teams do have. You don't see a lot of really tall setters in the high school level until you get up into the teams that are getting in the regionals, getting in the state, et cetera, et cetera. Even the number one team in the state Division III, Mineral Lake Catholic, who's probably one of the best volleyball teams in the state across all divisions, their setter's not huge. They have a good front row. They have a couple of outside hitters and a middle that are big, and they have, you know, obviously 3 Division I players that are committed to Division I schools right now. But their setter isn't huge. So even there, you can get away with it if you have some height across the front row, and you have a setter that has high volleyball IQ, can set those one balls and get some really fast offense going through the court. So, but Newton Falls, Danny Drake, what a great setter, what a great accomplishment, and not the last milestone we'll get this year. Certainly not the first one. We have a couple of really awesome ones coming, I think, very soon. I'm looking at Samantha Aulette. I think she's pretty dang close to 2,000 career assists. She's chasing her sister, who did get 2,000 plus in her Middle Ridge career. I think Samantha Aulette is pretty dang close to 2,000. We're keeping an eye on that, which would be awesome to see a setter get 2,000. Obviously, Riley Malott from Southern Local just got 2,000 this week. And we also had Ashley Schroeds get 1,000 kills earlier this week as well. That's not going to be the last milestone that Ashley Schroeds has this school year. I promise you that, because I think she'll have a couple of them in the basketball season as well. But what a great athlete, Ashley Schroeds. Can't wait to continue to watch her senior year in the volleyball and the basketball worlds. I'm reading too much of Marvel comics, right? DJ always like, why are you using Realm so much? What are we, in a Thor movie? I don't know. I've always used it. Let's go off the scoreboard here. We'll get back to a break, and we'll take our break on Running Point. And when we get back, we'll hear the player profile interview with Danny Drake from Newton Falls Volleyball. Don't go anywhere on Running Point, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
Now you can see every school, to the smallest school, to the intermediate schools, to the schools in the outlying areas, It gives you coverage that you could just never get to before. It's something that's great to experience, and it's opened up a whole new wave of sports viewership. The possibilities are endless here at YSN. Push the envelope every day. Try something new. If it works, great. If it doesn't, well, let's try another angle, and we just keep moving forward. My name is Mike Ackelson, and my sports network is your sports network.
What can you do on over 5,000 acres? At Mill Creek Metro Parks, you can discover unique habitats and wildlife, create memorable family moments, experience history, heritage, and park programs, explore scenic landscapes, take time to relax and be well, connect with nature and each other. Come see what's new at Mill Creek Metro Parks. Plan your trip now at millcreekmetroparks.org.
Going the extra mile at Greenwood Chevrolet means taking care of our local customers.
And it's just a great feeling to put them in a vehicle and get them all excited about a new vehicle.
At the end of the day, our goal is to be someone our customers can count on.
And every day I'll go the extra mile for the community so they can trust us.
To do anything that would convenience the customer or make them feel more at home.
Realizing, number one, that we're here for them and that we're not going to go away.
That's what going the extra mile means, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Welcome back to Running Point on ysnlive.com. You just heard from Greenwood Chevrolet. They are our proud presenting sponsor here on Running Point. Want to give you a little bit more on them. They are doing a giveaway right now at Greenwood Chevrolet. They just posted this yesterday. If you want, what do you think the score of next week's YSU? Sorry, what do you think the score of next week's YSU football game against Northern Iowa? If you comment on their Facebook, the score below, you will be picking two people to win these YSU footballs signed by Coach Phillips. So 2 footballs signed by Coach Phillips being given away by Greenwood Chevrolet. All you have to do is go to their Facebook, Greenwood Chevrolet, and comment what you think the score will be for next week's YSU football game against Northern Iowa. So if you do that, you have a chance to get one of those awesome YSU footballs signed by one of the best coaches in Division I AA FCS now, Doug Phillips. We love Doug. We love Coach. So make sure to get over there, comment a score guess on Greenwood Chevrolet's Facebook page, enter for a chance to win a signed football, and then if you win it, save it forever because, 20, 30 years from now, when YSU eventually wins a national championship, it's going to be worth something. Telling you that. Keep it pristine. Go out there and win it once again. Greenwood Chevy's Facebook. Comment the score, guessing the score of the Northern Iowa versus YSU football game, and you are entered for a chance to win one of 2 YSU footballs signed by Doug Phillips. Make sure to get on over there, get your guesses in, and enter for a chance to win an awesome prize. I misspoke before the break. We did Danny Drake yesterday, and I was talking about her as a setter for Newton Falls, so that's probably why my brain had it on my mind. One minute. Excuse me. So, you can find her interview on ysnlive.com. It's been posted, and you can also watch it on the show yesterday, so make sure to check that out. But Danny Drake obviously is not who we're featuring today. We're going to the 440 McKenna Venzel from Edgewood. A great interview with the senior libero, and we're going to feature it here today. Here is an interview with Edgewood's libero, McKenna Venzel. Anthony Hartwig here with an Edgewood volleyball player profile. I am joined by senior captain McKenna Venzel. McKenna, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
First question for all seniors, right? It's senior year. It comes with a lot of emotions, a lot of last first home game, last time playing ex-opponent, last time, a lot of lasts. How are you dealing with all the emotions that come with senior year?
Oh, I'm just trying to soak everything in. Being the only senior, all my friends being underclassmen, all my teammates being underclassmen, it's definitely bittersweet, but I have loved watching them grow, and I know I'm going to be sad to leave them. But again, just trying to take everything in right now.
You've been on the varsity floor for a while, so you've seen many seniors go through the same thing you have. Has it been surreal to feel like, okay, now it's my turn and I'm a senior now?
Oh yeah. When people would say that high school flies by, volleyball flies by, I never really understood until now, like standing here. It is different because I've played volleyball my whole life, but I never really thought that it would be over this soon. But being here, I am glad that I had seniors in front of me that allowed me to enjoy my experience, and now I can do that for the girls below me.
We said at the top you're a captain, which means there's a lot of responsibilities put on your shoulder, a lot of leadership that you have to do. How have you handled that? The step up in leadership and the raise of expectations that are put on your shoulders.
Oh yeah, it definitely is. But like I said before, the 3 groups of seniors I've had in front of me have been great role models, great leaders. So I try to take into account everything they taught me and pass it on to my underclassmen.
When talking volleyball, who are some seniors of the past that have really taught you how to be a leader, and in what ways did they kind of mold you into the leader that you are now?
So Maddie Bales was a senior for us 2 years ago, and Sophia Palillo was the senior for us last year. Maddie was definitely more vocal than Sophia, but they were 2 completely different leaders. Like I said, Maddie was more vocal, but she showed me that part of being a leader, and then Sophia led by example. So they were 2 great role models that I got to watch in different ways and try to meet them in the middle.
Also, as a senior, you also get to really represent Edgewood one last time. And when we talk to high school athletes, they always try to soak in representing their community one more year in their senior season. What has been so special to you about this school system and being able to wear the red and represent Edgewood every time you go out there?
I love everything about Edgewood. So our culture here is, our saying is we are family. So everyone here is so close. I love my teammates. I love my school. I love my teachers. I love our principals. So everyone above me, everyone around me, it's a great environment to be in. I do love going to Edgewood.
It's very fitting for you that the saying is we are family, because the Vinsel name is everywhere in Edgewood.
Yep.
You got Coach Vinsel in the volleyball. Obviously, your dad coaches you in basketball and in softball. You got Faith Vinsel on the team as well.
Mm-hmm.
What's it like to have a family that is like so tied into Edgewood athletics?
Oh, I love my family. They're so supportive. If they're not coaching or playing, they're always there to watch or in the stands. And it is a huge motivator having being surrounded by people you love that are constantly supporting you, backing you up.
It just blows my mind that there are Vinsels out there that aren't playing or coaching.
Yeah.
Because every Vinsel I've met is either playing or coaching.
Yes. Yeah.
Let's talk about this coaching staff. Obviously, Kira Vinsel and the coaching staff she's put together. What's it been like to be under their guidance and to see the success they're letting you guys have this last year?
So our head coach, Kira Vinsel, and our assistant coach, Coach Kubek, I've played for them since I was 5. So travel, Club Ashtabula, all the way up until now my senior year. They are amazing coach. I could not ask for a better coaching staff. They've been coaching since they started Club Ashtabula like many years back. So they've developed a bond, and also our coach Riley also coaches at Club Ashtabula. So they work great as a team together, and I really could not ask for a better coaching staff. And to end my last year with the coaches that taught me how to play the game of volleyball.
What was that like to find out that the coaches that you've had your whole life were going to come and coach you in high school for your senior season?
Oh, I was so excited. I was beyond excited. It is, seeing the pictures with them from when I was little and then seeing how much I've grown and improved and just how much they've taught me over the years, I will never be able to thank them enough for that.
We got to interview Coach Vinsel. We got to, see her in the games, but we don't really get a really solid glimpse into the kind of coach that she is, because you guys spend a lot more time with her than we do. Give us insight on what makes her special, what makes her such a good coach, and some of the things that we might not know just watching games and doing interviews with her.
So Coach Vinsel is very open-minded. She's not a coach that it's her way or the highway. So whenever we have input, she always takes that into account. We practice it. We'll go through it, see if she likes that. She's also very energetic. She's very motivating. She's very encouraging. And she's there for us. She's not there for her own benefit. And so everything she does pours right back into us, which is why I just love her so much.
You have been playing volleyball for a while. You already stated it. You have to love the sport to put as much time as you do into it. What is it that you love so much about the sport of volleyball?
I love being around new people, meeting new friends, travel volleyball. I mean, going all around the state playing. And I love meeting new people, and I love the sport itself so much. So
you're a multiple sport athlete. Is volleyball the favorite? Is it the one that you put on the pedestal?
Yes, volleyball is my one.
When you think of being a multiple sport athlete, though, obviously you stay so busy. You're playing basketball, you play softball. What's it like going from one sport mindset to the other? And as soon as volleyball gets turned off for you, you have to focus on basketball. And then as soon as basketball gets turned off, you have to go right back into softball. What's that been like for you throughout your Edgewood career?
Well, it is a bit challenging sometimes because I do still play travel volleyball throughout the winter. So being that busy, having jam-packed schedule, it definitely is mental. But players, coaches, focusing on myself and the game just kind of helps me transition easier from one sport to the next.
All that time spent at gyms and juggling all that time, you have to be good at time management, right? I'm assuming you are, because you have to also balance schoolwork and having some kind of a social life as a teenager. Have you always been good at time management, or is that something that you've had to develop over the years to be like, okay, this is what I have to do. I have to get a little bit more organized if I want to play volleyball, basketball, softball, and all that fun stuff that you do?
Yeah, so both my parents and my older sister, they were also involved a ton. So it's kind of like my whole family has to be very organized. Time management has kind of always been a thing that I've been around.
Who is the most organized person in your family?
My mom.
Your mom?
My mom, 1,000%, yeah.
When you think of your favorite memories with this team, I mean, eventually you're going to hit senior night. You're going to get so reflective on the things that you've been able to do with this program. We'll start with on the court. What are some of your favorite on the court memories with this Edgewood team?
So my team has many inside jokes. We like to dance a lot. We love to have fun. We're always making new cheers. So just creating such a close bond with them is honestly one of my favorite parts of volleyball.
And then that's on the court. When we go off the court memories, so many team bonding exercises, so many things that you do with this team off the court. What are some of your favorite off the court memories that you have with Edgewood volleyball?
So like you had mentioned, my team loves to do team bonding. So no matter what it is, we always are doing something together. So whether that's going to get food, going to the beach, play volleyball, going to football games, going to school events, we have been together the whole summer, been together the whole fall. So
with teams that are so you all often hear stories of teammates that probably like wouldn't have been in each other's circle if it wasn't for the sport, but growing to be really good friends. Are there any teammates that you feel like if it wasn't for volleyball, you wouldn't be as close as you are with them, and you cherish the sport so much for bringing them into your life?
Oh yeah. Two of my best friends, Gianna and McKenna, I met them through the sport of volleyball. So even in our off season, like I said, through summer, I was with them the whole summer, through basketball, travel volleyball, and then they play softball with me too. So really without the sport of volleyball, I wouldn't have some of my best friends that I'm around every single day.
You're leading a lot this year. You're going to leave next year, and new leaders are going to have to step up. When you look at the underclassmen or even the junior class and you start to see how they're playing and you've been with them, for a long time, who are some people that you think are going to be like, we have to watch them to make sure they're going to be leaders next year?
So we have 5 really strong juniors. All 3 of our middles are juniors, and then our outside and our setter. McKenna Rhodes, she's already a captain for us this year. She is going to have big shoes to fill next year, along with the other 4 juniors that make up our starting 6 and the rest of our lineup. They're going to have big shoes to fill, but they're since there's only one senior, they've already been stepping up to help lead the younger girls, the sophomores, and our freshmen. So
The name of your game is Defense, CVC Player of the Week because of how many digs you've been able to get. How much pride do you take in your ability to go down to the floor and get balls off the floor?
I really just try to be an anchor in the back. Obviously, I have a younger girl with me in the back row, our other DS, Lucy Palillo. She's a sophomore, and then 2 other back row players that are with me. One's a freshman and one's a junior. So really just trying to lead them back there, getting as many touches as I can to take off their plate, put on mine. That's what I really try to focus on when I'm in the back row.
You play the position that I get the most questions about, and I'm sure you get the most questions about from people that don't know volleyball. Why are you wearing the other color jersey? What's a libero? What does that mean? What's it like to play that position?
Oh, libero is my favorite. I think it's the most fun position. But basically, you stay in the back row the whole time. You're not allowed to attack in the front, but you're just a defensive specialist.
How many people in your career have asked you why you're wearing a different color jersey?
Around volleyball season, I get at least 1 or 2 questions about it a week, probably.
You gotta love it. Did you forget your jersey?
Yeah.
When you think of, all the things that you have accomplished and the personal goals that you've already been able to get, are there any other personal goals on the volleyball court that you still have on your checklist before senior season ends?
Yeah, as of right now, I only have stats for last year and this year accounted for, but I do, if I haven't yet, want to reach 1,000 digs and 1,000 serve receive touches.
That is an awesome goal, and I'm sure you're going to reach it. We have to talk about the future. You're a senior. You're going to graduate Edgewood. What are some future goals for you? What are some things that you're kind of looking into down the road for yourself?
If college is in the picture and is an option, I do want to look at some D3, D2 schools. And if college isn't in the picture because of my future job options, then might get into a little volleyball here and there, but might be time to call it quits.
So you're kind of in that gray area where you really don't know what side of the fence you're going to fall on. What's that been like? I mean, I'm sure that's kind of stressful for you to not really know what the future holds and kind of be in this limbo state.
Yeah, it's definitely a back and forth thing. I don't really know life without volleyball. Like I said, started when I was 5. My mom always had me in the driveway when I was younger, even younger than that. So it would definitely be bittersweet, but whatever the Lord has in store.
Let's talk about if college volleyball becomes a part of your future. Obviously, you'll be looking for colleges. You'll have to look for a coaching staff that fits what you want. What kind of things are you looking for? What kind of things would draw you to a program and to a school?
I do like bigger schools. I love big audiences. I love a lot of people around me. So definitely an environment like that I would love to be around every day.
If volleyball doesn't become a future, how much do you think we could see another Coach Vinsel in the future? Because obviously coaching in your family is huge.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you would make a good coach?
Oh, I would definitely look into coaching. I love even mentoring people now, doing little kid volleyball camps and even the underclassmen, the freshmen coming in. I love teaching them. I love to see their growth. So that would definitely be in the picture.
You've heard it here. We're going to have a coach's corner with McKenna Vinsel not too long from now. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for that. McKenna, before we let you go, I do want to give you the time to just, give a shout out to everyone in your life that supports you, everyone that you have in your corner, anyone that you think deserves to have a light shined on them for what they've done for you. I want to give you the time to do that.
Well, first, I have to thank the Lord. My parents have been so supportive, taking me 3 sports my whole life. I started golf this year. So whatever I want to do, they allow me to do it. And I wouldn't be where I'm at today without them. Both my grandparents, all my aunts, all my uncles, all my cousins, my sisters, my brother, they are always at everything. They're always supporting me, always texting me, hey, watching your game online, even if they couldn't be here. So I wouldn't be where I am without my family today. So
McKenna, we want to thank you for taking your time to join us today and talking to us about this Edgewood program and your senior season. We wish you the best of luck the rest of the way, and we can't wait to talk to you again real soon.
Thank you for having me.
McKenna Venzel from Edgewood, wonderful interview. That's one of my favorites we've done all year so far. What a great family, right? If you're in Edgewood and you don't know the Venzel name, then I don't know what you're doing. It's all over the place. We put it in the story. It's on ysnlive.com. Kira Venzel, head coach of the volleyball team. Randy Venzel, the head coach of the girls basketball team, head coach of softball. You had Zach Venzel last year that just absolutely lit the world on fire on the basketball court. McKenna Venzel, obviously, on the volleyball team, the basketball team, the softball team. She has a sister on the basketball coaching staff. I mean, it's just everywhere. This Venzel name is like, I would, honestly put it in the lore of, I went to South Range. So if you're a South Range guy out there, you're watching this show, what up? Shout out to South Range. Shout out to the alum. Go Raiders. But if you're a South Range guy, the name you know pretty well is Toy, right? We had toys all over the football field back in the 90s and the 80s, toys everywhere. And we still have had toys throughout. It's like a generation of South Range. That toy name is everywhere in the South Range lore, right? So this is kind of like if we were transported in South Range, especially in the 90s, there's still toys playing right now. Anna Toy, shout out to the volleyball team. And then, of course, quarterback toy for South Range as well. Now current quarterback, following in the family footsteps. But you transport that to, is kind of like when the Toy family was huge in South Range. The coaches were there. Sandy Toy was a coach. Nathan Toy football. That's kind of like where Edgewood is right now, where they have coaches that are Venzels, they have players that are Venzels, they have assistant coaches that are Venzels. It's everywhere. So you might be talking about the Venzels, kind of like South Range talks about the toys, in 20 or 30 years. Who knows? I love it when communities and schools have families that go just so deep into the athletic culture like that, and it's almost that name becomes synonymous with that community, and Vincel is definitely that name that rings true to Edgewood. So congratulations to McKenna Vincel on a wonderful career so far. It's not done yet by any means. Still have the rest of your volleyball season, of course, then basketball, then softball before you even think about graduating from Edgewood. And then, who knows? You might see college volleyball in your future, like she said in the interview, kind of on the fence right now between college volleyball and other pursuits. So we might see McKenna Vincel go to college and play volleyball. If not, I am very confident that we'll see McKenna Vincel coach at some point because it's just in her blood. So looking at the time, I think we have time for a kind of surprise extra player profile. I think we have a little bit over 20 minutes to go on the show. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go back into the player profiles. I figure why not stay in the 440, right? We talked to Edgewood, McKenna Vincel. Let's go into Lakeside and play a player profile from the Dragons. We had you hear from Addie Varner live on the show last week. Let's hear from her libero, Tess Collins, this week. Here's another player profile on Running Point. Anthony Hartwig here with a Lakeside volleyball player profile, our first jump into the Lakeside volleyball program since they've jumped on board the Ysn family. I'm joined by senior libero Tess Collins. Tess, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Of course. Thank you.
So we talk about senior year, and every time we talk to a senior, we have to ask them about all the emotions that come with senior year. Your last home game, last time you play ex-opponent, a lot of lasts. How are you dealing with all the emotions that senior year can bring you?
I don't think it's really hit me yet. Like our first game, like it was good, but like I'm not feeling anything yet. But I feel like once like the season gets farther, like I'll start to, feel emotions.
Knowing yourself and how you deal with that kind of things, how do you think you're going to handle senior night when it's finally becoming more of a reality and you get honored and all your teammates are giving you gifts and stuff? How are you gonna emotionally handle senior night, you think?
I definitely feel like I'm gonna cry for sure. Like it's upsetting. It's my last year. I've been playing since I was really little, so I feel like it's gonna be good, but it's also gonna be really upsetting.
As a senior, you're stepping into a bigger role of responsibility as far as leadership goes, and as far as just trying to build the framework for the program after you leave. What have you been doing to kind of build your leadership and try to be ready to be what you need to be for this team this year?
I've been trying to keep everybody's like head up. I've been trying to stay positive. Just encouraging people, like complimenting them on the court, like letting them know that they're doing a good job.
As a libero, you're a leader whether you're a senior or not. You're the anchor of that back row defense. How much pride do you take in being able to do that and being the best passer in your team and having the coaches trust that you can go back there and do it?
I love it. It's so much fun. I'm glad that my teammates can rely on me for that. Yeah, that's about it. I just love doing it.
When talking about liberos, I always laugh because people don't understand that position. If they're outside of volleyball, they're always wondering what the heck that girl's doing with the different colored jersey on. And how many questions about that libero position do you get asked during the volleyball season?
Oh, all the time. I get so many questions. They're like, why do you wear a different colored jersey? Like, why do you go in and then come right back out? And why do you only stay in the back row? I get tons of questions like that.
What's your favorite part about being the libero and being in that role?
I just like defense, like as it is. Like I was never good at like hitting or anything, but I don't know. I just like being back there and helping everyone out.
You are our first profile for Lakeside Volleyball, so I want you to just kind of take us into your locker room and your personality of this team and describe what your teammates are like, what makes this team so unique, and how much you're enjoying your time with this program.
I love everyone on my team. Like we're all super close. We have a really good connection with each other. So everything kind of clicked. We had pretty much everyone last year, except like our 4 seniors that we lost. So we were all friends. Like we were all close. Our underclassmen stepping up. We have a couple freshmen playing varsity. They're doing really good. But yeah, everybody's just super nice. I love to be their teammates. I'm glad that I'm on this team and we're all working together and playing together.
Let's talk about working with those freshmen that are coming up onto the varsity court. Obviously, you've been a freshman. You know what it's like to be in a program as a freshman. Now, as a senior, what kind of advice have you been given to the younger players about being on the varsity court and trying to find their own way on varsity volleyball?
Like the biggest thing, like I tell them to not be nervous and to just go for it. Cause I remember my freshman year, I was always so scared and shy and like, it's okay if you mess up. Like you're still young, you're still learning, like you're still improving. And so I just like make sure that they're comfortable and like in their role and stuff.
What are the biggest differences between Tess as a freshman and Tess as a senior?
I'm definitely like louder, like I talk, because my freshman year, like I was scared of the upperclassmen. Like I was just like very shy and I didn't say much, but now like I'm just used to it and I try to get the younger girls to like step up and not be so shy and timid.
Whether it be when you were a freshman or even when you were younger, looking at this volleyball team and knowing that you were going to be a member of it one day, who were some people that you looked up to on this in this volleyball program that you tried to mold your game after as you grew in your career?
Okay, so J-Lo Rodriguez, she was our libero my freshman year, and she just had so much energy. She was all over the floor. She called the ball, like she was everywhere, and she knew the game so well. And so I've always looked up to her and her younger sister, Chris. She just graduated this past year. She was also just so loud everywhere, like a really good leader. And so I wanted to be like them. I wanted to be the loudest one on the court. I wanted to kind of lead everybody and like just stay positive and make sure everybody's, working together.
What's it like for you reflecting on the people that you looked up to and now realizing that you're the senior and there are a lot of people looking up to you, wanting to be in your shoes in the future?
I think it's cool because I never really thought that like as a freshman, I never really thought that like people would like actually look up to me when I was older. Like I don't know. It's a weird feeling.
How do you handle like the reality moments of this person is looking at me for advice and I have to be the one that guides them into their future?
I always try to give them good advice. Like I just try and put myself in their shoes and feel how they're feeling and try to tell them like the best thing I can like to help them.
Who in your life gives you the best advice? Like who's the one person like I need advice, I can go to this person all the time?
Definitely my mom. Like she's like I can go to her like with anything and she'll always like know exactly what to say. And I don't know how she does it, but like she always helps me with everything.
What is the best form of advice that she's ever given you?
I would either say to like not take things personally or like be your own person and like I don't know. There's so many things.
Right.
But
that's a good thing that there's so much advice that she gives you. You can't pick one. That's a really good thing.
No.
I'm sure you have an incredible family. Let's talk about them for a little bit, get to know you off the court. What about your family do you think makes you unique from other families? What makes your family so special to you?
They're always there for me. They're always super supportive. Like they support me with anything I do. A lot of them a lot of my family comes to games. Like my mom, like she's there almost every game. My dad comes to games. My brother comes to games. They're just a really good support system.
When you're talking about the Collins clan, is it a big family? Do you have a lot of relatives, or do you have a smaller knit family?
I have one sibling. He's older. But I have a lot of people like on my mom's side. But like everyone on my dad's side, like they live further away. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of them. And like they're always like we're always in touch. We're always, texting, whatever, and just I don't know.
One brother, but that does mean that you are the baby of the family. You are the youngest child. Do you fit that stereotypical baby mentality where you think you're a little bit more spoiled and you get away with a little bit more?
Absolutely, yes.
Mm-hmm. What's the dynamic between you and your brother? Do you guys get along real well? And I know there are ways that you know how to push each other's buttons because all siblings do. What's one thing that maybe he does that he knows how to push your buttons with?
I don't know, like he's a lot older than I am.
Mm-hmm.
So we were never like super close when we were younger. Like I think he's like 13 years older than I am. So like now that we've gotten older, like we've became closer. But like we never argued like at all.
Right.
Which is shocking, but like
maybe the age gap helped in that sense,
Yeah.
When you're thinking about your future, because you're a senior, we have to talk about your life outside of Lakeside. What are some of your future goals and some of the things that you want to see yourself accomplish after you graduate?
I do know that I want to go to college. I want to be a nurse. That's what my mom does. She went to Kent Ashtabula and got her bachelor's in nursing. So I think like I'm really interested in like medical and like pharmacy and nursing and just helping people. So I think that's the route I want to go in college. I want to get a good job, a job that I enjoy.
How much has watching your mom being a nurse made you want to go into that field and kind of inspired you to follow her footsteps a little bit?
I like she just loves helping people. And I think that like I also like helping people. So I feel like that like is like my main reason. Like I just want to see people like, get better and help them and be there for them.
When you're thinking about colleges that you want to go to, are you someone that wants to travel a little bit? Do you want to get out of the nest and travel, or do you want to stay pretty close to home?
I don't want to travel too far, but like I don't want to like be in Ashtabula. Like I want to like maybe like Cleveland or like Akron, like somewhere out there. I feel like because I don't want to be too far from home.
So you're going to be far enough away that you're going to have to live on your own. So when you have to live on your own in college, what's going to be the one thing you're going to be most nervous about with no more safety net of your parents and you have to kind of live, and fend for yourself?
I feel like I need my mom. Like that's going to be the biggest thing for me. Like not having my mom there is probably going to be, it's not going to be great, but I feel like as I go, like it'll get better.
What do you think is one thing that she does for you like every day that I don't want to say take for granted, but you're not going to realize how important it is until, you go out and you're living on your own?
She helps out a lot. She's like my own, like, I don't know. Like she helps me with everything. She gives me advice. She helps me with my homework. She cooks for me sometimes. Like I feel like it's just going to be weird not having that.
Is there any future for volleyball in you, or are you absolutely hanging up the shoes after high school is over?
I'm not sure. I like never really thought like I would play in college, but I may like make like a highlight reel and put myself out there just to see like what kind of feedback I get and reach out to like a couple colleges maybe. But I never really thought of it. But I feel like as the season goes on, like I'm gonna like start to miss it and like,
If that comes into a reality or you get responses, what are some things that you would look for in a college coach and a college program that would make you interested in joining them?
I feel like the coach is like a big thing for me. Like if we like connect, that's really good. And just like the teammates and like just a positive what's the word? I can't think of the word. A positive
atmosphere?
Yes, thank you. Just like welcoming and like makes me feel comfortable and like they want me to be there.
Want to talk about your coaching staff at Lakeside and what it's been like for you to be under them and how much they've meant to you in your growth, not just as a volleyball player, but I'm sure as a person as well.
Yes. So Coach Mead, she's been there for a lot longer than I've been there, but I've known her since I was real little. I love her. She's such a good coach. She's always positive. She pushes hard. My head coach, Coach Sanford, he just came to Lakeside. He was an assistant coach for 1 year, I think my sophomore year, and he became head coach junior year. And this year, I feel like he's really helped me grow as a person and a player. He does push, he does yell, but it's all out of like love. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And before we let you go, Tess, I know you've already talked about a lot of important people in your life, but I want to give you the opportunity to give a shout out to anybody else or anyone that deserves even more flowers in this interview, anyone that you think deserves to have a light shined on them for supporting you throughout your career. I want to give you the time to give them a shout out before we end this interview.
I want to shout out Andy Mikowski and Addie Warner. They're also seniors this year. They're my two setters. We all push each other. We're all connected, and I feel like they've just really helped me grow, and like we've all helped each other grow. So yeah.
All right, Tess, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. We appreciate you letting us inside Lakeside Volleyball a little bit, letting us get to know the program. We appreciate your time again, and we can't wait to talk to you again real soon.
All right, thank you so much.
That was another trip to the 440. We got two of them today. Surprise, because we just had a little bit of extra time. So whenever we have extra time, never a bad thing to highlight another player. Tess Collins, the libero for Lakeside, put up great numbers in her career. Her interview is also up live on ysnlive.com. Make sure to go check out that out. I'll tell you one thing. When you look at the numbers that she put in last year, good numbers, solid numbers for a libero, it has been ramped up this year. The serve receive numbers are great. She doesn't make a lot of serve receive errors. The numbers prove that. Doesn't even make a lot of digging errors. I think last year she only had 11 digging errors all season long, which means she only shanked about 11 balls. Remember last year they were a 20-win Lakeside team. They're going through some struggles results-wise this year, but her numbers are still locking in very good as the libero for Lakeside. So very impressed with Tess Collins. That was a great interview, and happy to be able to share it with you today on Running Point. Let's hop into what's going to be going on the network tonight and get you some previews and let you know where you can watch and who's going to be there on the call for your favorite team. Today is Thursday, September 21st. We were going to have one football game tonight. Ashtabula St. John taking on Matthews. 7 o'clock is your start time. Sam Torres, of course, our 4-4-0 guy, is going to be there. So salute to Sam Torres. He'll be joined by Ray Torrado on the call in Ashtabula. We have volleyball on the network. West Geauga and Orange going to be handled by the school, so that'll be a school broadcast for the Lions. I will be in Camel as Crestview comes to town. Hubbard will be at Ursuline tonight. Noah Doty going to be on the call for that one. That one should be really fun. Jackson Milton goes to Lowville. Eric Hughes is going to be on the call there. Lowville looking for their third win in a row to really put a stamp on a very good week for the Rockets. McDonald at Western Reserve. Chris Palucci going to be there tonight as well. Got some soccer on the action. Orange's school going to take care of their girls soccer game against Hawken. 5 o'clock is the kickoff for that. Boys soccer, Orange will also be taking the boys game, which will happen after the girls game. CVCA is the team that the Alliance are facing on the boys side. That one will be on the school. Warren Harding goes to Boardman. Matt Marr going to be on the call there. And then Don Polkovich and Rowan Urbach are going to be on the Ursuline game. Howland and Ursuline boys soccer. That's a 6 o'clock kickoff at YSU. So that's what's going to be on the network tonight. We have football, we have volleyball, we have soccer, all of that fun stuff going on the network tonight. And that'll do it for today's show, right? We will see you tomorrow. It's going to be Football Friday, so you know we're going to be talking about all the matchups in Week 6. We'll also, of course, recap tonight's action as well and have some fun. Until then, thank you so much for tuning in today. We appreciate it. And we'll see you all tomorrow from 1 to 2.